Chapter 1. The Primordial Chaos. In the beginning, there was nothing but a swirling, formless void. This was the primordial chaos, an endless expanse of dark waters where no light had ever pierced, no wind had ever stirred. It was a realm of potential, pregnant with the seeds of all that could ever be, yet barren of form and substance. Within this abyss, two beings emerged, personifications of the very elements that composed the cosmos in its nascent state: Apsu, the sweet waters of the underground, and Tiamat, the bitter salt waters of the sea. Tiamat, the mother of all existence, was a being of incomprehensible power and scale. Often depicted as a colossal sea serpent or dragon, her body coiled through the depths of the void, her scales glistening like the very stars that would one day adorn the night sky. She was the embodiment of the primordial chaos from which all life would spring, a goddess whose whispers could stir the waters into waves that crashed against the shores of reality. As time, a concept barely relevant in this pre-creation epoch, passed, Tiamat and Apsu found solace in each other's presence. From their union, the first generation of gods was born, each a force of nature that would play a role in shaping the universe. These gods frolicked in the vastness of Tiamat's watery domain, but as they grew in number and strength, a discordant note began to disrupt the harmony of the primordial chaos. The younger gods were restless, their ambitions and noises disturbing the peace of Apsu, who longed for the silence and stillness that once was. Tiamat, however, reveled in the vibrancy of her children and their creations, her heart swelling with pride and love. But love could not quell the growing tension that threatened to fracture the very foundation of existence. Apsu, driven to desperation by the ceaseless tumult, conspired to destroy his offspring, to return the cosmos to its former state of serene emptiness. His plan, however, was not to remain secret. The gods learned of their progenitor's intentions, and a great conflict ignited, setting the stage for a cosmic battle that would determine the fate of all creation. It was within this maelstrom of divine warfare that Tiamat's true might would be revealed. Her wrath at the betrayal of Apsu, and the peril faced by her children, would unleash a fury that the universe had never seen. The goddess of chaos and creation would rise, her power both terrifying and awe-inspiring, as she sought to protect the burgeoning life that had sprung from her very essence. The primordial chaos, once a silent expanse of potential, now roared with the sounds of battle, the cries of gods, and the wrath of the dragon goddess. The legend of Tiamat was not just one of creation, but of a mother's fierce love and the chaos that comes with change. As the first chapter of existence unfolded, the fate of the cosmos hung in the balance, and the legend of Tiamat began to etch itself into the annals of time. Chapter 2. The Rise of Marduk. In the midst of the divine tumult, a new power emerged from the ranks of the younger gods, a deity whose might and ambition would challenge the very order of the cosmos. Marduk, the god of storms and a son of Ea, rose with eyes aflame with purpose and a will as unyielding as the hardest stone. His strength was unmatched, his courage unassailable, and his resolve to bring an end to the chaos and establish a new order was unbreakable. The gods, weary from the incessant strife and fearful of Tiamat's wrath, sought a champion to lead them against the primordial dragon goddess. They turned to Marduk, offering him supremacy over the pantheon if he could quell the chaos and defeat Tiamat. Marduk accepted the mantle of leadership, but his terms were absolute. He demanded not only precedence among the gods, but also the authority to create a world from the aftermath of the impending battle. With the assent of the divine assembly, Marduk prepared for the confrontation that would seal his destiny. He fashioned a mighty bow, arrows as sharp as the winds of a hurricane, and a mace that could shatter mountains. He gathered the four winds, north, south, east, and west, and harnessed their fury. With the tempests as his vanguard, Marduk set forth to face Tiamat, the embodiment of the chaotic waters that raged against the coming of a new era. The clash between Marduk and Tiamat was a spectacle beyond mortal comprehension. The heavens themselves trembled as the storm god unleashed his fury upon the dragon goddess. Tiamat roared, her voice a cataclysmic wave that sought to sweep away all in its path. But Marduk was resolute, his power amplified by the collective will of the gods who yearned for order. The battle raged, a dance of destruction and creation, as Marduk's winds tore through the dark waters and Tiamat's coil sought to ensnare her adversary. The god of storms called forth lightning that seared the sky and thunder that echoed the depths of the void. In the end, it was Marduk's strategy and might that prevailed. He caught Tiamat in his net, and with a final, devastating blow of his mace, he smote the dragon goddess, vanquishing the chaos she had wrought. With Tiamat defeated, Marduk set about the task of reshaping the cosmos. He split her colossal body in two, creating from it the heavens and the earth. Her weeping eyes became the source of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, her tail the Milky Way. From the blood of her consort, Kingu, who had led her army, Marduk fashioned mankind, destined to serve the gods and maintain the balance of the new world. Thus, the rise of Marduk marked the end of the primordial chaos and the beginning of a structured cosmos. The gods, now led by Marduk, took their places in the heavens, overseeing the world that had been born from conflict. The legend of Tiamat did not end with her demise. It lived on in the very fabric of creation, a reminder of the chaos that precedes order and the sacrifices inherent in birth. Marduk's triumph was celebrated, his name exalted above all others. He had become the king of the gods, the ruler of the universe, and the architect of a world that had emerged from the ashes of the old. The legend of Tiamat and the rise of Marduk would be forever intertwined, a story of destruction and rebirth, of a mother's love and a warrior's courage, a tale that would echo through the ages as the Enuma Elish, the great creation epic of the Babylonian people. In the wake of Tiamat's fall and Marduk's ascension, the cosmos found its rhythm, pulsing with the heartbeat of a new order. The heavens stretched wide, a tapestry of celestial splendor, and the earth below teemed with life, a testament to the enduring legacy of creation. The gods, in their lofty abodes, watched over the world, their divine duties clear, their authority unchallenged. Mankind, born of Kingu's blood, toiled upon the earth, their lives a constant homage to the deities that shaped their destiny. They raised ziggurats that pierced the sky, grand edifices reaching toward the heavens, as if to touch the realm of their creators. In the shadow of these towering monuments, stories were woven, tales that chronicled the saga of the gods, the tumult of the primordial chaos, and the might of Marduk, the king of all. The legend of Tiamat, the mother of all, did not perish with her demise. It lived on in the murmuring waves of the sea, in the churning storms that swept across the land, and in the hearts of those who revered the sacred narrative of their origins. Her spirit, indomitable and vast, was a reminder of the raw power of chaos, the untamed force that precedes harmony and life. As generations passed, the Enuma Elish was recited, a sacred liturgy echoing through the halls of time, a story that bound the people to their divine benefactors. It was a tale of contrasts, of chaos and order, destruction and creation, despair and hope. And through it all, the legacy of Tiamat and Marduk endured, a duality that defined the world, a balance that sustained the universe. So let it be known, across the expanse of time and space, that from the greatest of conflicts can arise the most profound of orders, and from the deepest of loves, the most magnificent of creations. This is the legacy of Tiamat, the mother of chaos, and Marduk, the harbinger of order, the eternal dance of the cosmos, forever spinning the threads of existence.